Joe Rogan just lit a fire under the boxing world, making Tyson versus Mayweather sound less like a rivalry and more like a war where a knockout doesn't just feel possible, it feels inevitable. In response, Floyd didn't just talk about boxing, he reminded the world of a legacy that still shadows every fighter alive today.
He trying to set me up. He trying to set me up.
You want to get that 51-0, try to get that easy work, and you call it, baby. Try to get that.
We gonna take the belt, we gonna get the payday, and I won't no shoulder excuses.
Well, I think we got it on. He's ready.
I've been doing this for 30 years, he declared, and there hasn't been a single fighter that can tarnish my legacy. 3 decades, and not one man has managed to crack the code. That line wasn't just confidence, it was a cold, hard fact carved into boxing history. Every champion who tried to dethrone him walked away with a lesson instead of glory. His words carried the weight of an unbroken empire. In that moment, it felt less like Floyd was speaking and more like the sport itself was reminding us who still holds the crown.
AJ understands that also. There's talk of that fight happening now this year. And again, it's talk. You've got 2 fighters that don't need to fight, 2 fighters that really believe they were the best fighters in the world, that have to come to terms with it mentally. 2 fighters that you know, we probably want the fight more than they do. So with these 2 fighters, it's a...
Then, with his signature swagger, Floyd set the stage for what comes next. You already know that if I am going to do something, it's going to be big and it's going to be legendary. This wasn't a casual hint, it was a promise. Floyd has never stepped into a ring for small talk. Every return is designed to shake the sport to its core. His words painted a picture of something larger than just a fight, something closer to an event the whole world would stop to see. And with whispers of Tyson hovering in the air, that legendary tease felt less like hype and more like the spark before an explosion.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah. He too big. He too big.
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man. Let Jake do what Jake.
Got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake.
And just when it seemed Floyd had said it all, he dropped another hint, a glimpse into the kind of spectacle only he can deliver. This wasn't about proving himself anymore, it was about giving the world a show they would never forget. Every word carried the energy of a man who thrives on pressure, who knows millions are waiting for him to light up the stage again. It felt less like a fight announcement and more like a global event loading in the shadows. And if Tyson's name is anywhere near it, that storm could turn into the kind of chaos boxing hasn't seen in years.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Does that cross the lane, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Listen, the presser was good. It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face, then.
But Johnny Nelson just peeled back the curtain, revealing this rivalry runs far deeper than just boxing. To him, the clash feels deeply personal, and that's where danger replaces common sense. The moment ego takes over, strategy dies. For Nelson, Tyson isn't just chasing a fight, he's chasing pride, even if it costs him dearly. At this stage of his life, the body slows, but the fire doesn't, and that can be a brutal mix. Mayweather's discipline, his sharpness, they all still live inside him. Tyson's raw power colliding with Floyd's precision could easily spiral out of control. And that's why Nelson believes this grudge is more than sport. It's a storm waiting to break.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Nelson then turned his attention to size and style, breaking down how age tilts the scales. What once made Tyson terrifying now risks turning against him. Power is useless if the body can't keep pace. Nelson's point was clear: Tyson may dwarf Floyd, but size alone won't save him against slick movement. At 48, Mayweather still glides, still calculates, still frustrates opponents into making mistakes. Tyson at 59 will want that one big shot, but chasing it may drain him faster than ever before. This isn't just strength versus skill, it's youth of spirit versus weight of years.
It's a slap in the face towards the eye.
In the ear as well.
People have to realise that I've got 2 scratched eyeballs, and the eyeballs, the part of the body, it never heals. Yeah. So the best way to explain it is it would be like varnishing a door, and the varnish comes off, and then you've got to re-put the varnish back on.
Yeah, nice.
The liquid on the eye comes off in the cornea, it gets damaged, and as I
Then, Nelson questioned the very nature of this fight, hinting that the rules might not matter at all, because once emotions take over, no script can hold these two legends in line. This is where the fight feels truly dangerous. Two men with a long, bitter history, refusing to play by anyone's script. Nelson sees it as personal, raw, and uncontrollable once the bell rings. If both throw the rulebook aside, fans won't be watching a polished exhibition, they'll be watching pure chaos unfold. And in chaos, anything can happen, even to legends.
Nothing can hold me back. Nothing can hold me back. You know, like I said, I had to step back, regroup, get a new team, and came.
Nelson didn't stop there. He drew a brutal picture of frustration colliding with reality. For him, this fight isn't just about who wins, it's about who time betrays. Mike Tyson, the Warrior fans still worship, will want to destroy Floyd in a single shot, but Father Time is undefeated, and Nelson knows it. Mayweather's precision, his conditioning, his ability to move, all still sharp enough to torment a slowing Tyson. The fans may cheer for Tyson to silence Floyd, but the reality may not match the dream. That tension between hope and reality is what Nelson believes will pull millions to watch.
I think this fight's just took another toll.
It's absolutely grabbed the public interest now to another level, isn't it?
This is quite simply the biggest fight this country's ever seen.
Then, Nelson cut through all the noise, stripping the fight down to its simplest truth, money. Because for both of these men, pride and paychecks now walk hand in hand. Tyson, at an age where most men enjoy retirement, won't find another payday like this. Mayweather, still sharp and marketable, knows every return can turn into millions. Nelson's words reminded fans that beneath the glory, fighters are men with families to feed. Legacy may be sacred, but cash is survival, and this fight promises both. Ego may drag them in, but money will keep them there.
Price is big for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
Joe Rogan didn't just sugarcoat it, he laid out the brutal truth. He painted a clear picture of who still holds the edge. To him, the outcome may not be about size, but about a level of skill that has never truly left. What Rogan laid out was simple. Floyd still moves like a ghost in the ring, even pushing 50. His reflexes, his slickness, and his conditioning set him apart. Tyson may carry the aura, but Rogan's point was that aura doesn't slip punches. A single misstep against Mayweather would be punished, and that changes everything. It was less a prediction and more a warning.
Here today. Killed me. So today's like the media day. We're doing a bit of face-offs. Obviously, they're not doing a face-off with each other, which is a shame, because that would have been as good as yours.
Just when the tension seemed to peak, a voice from inside the Mayweather family itself offered a completely different perspective. For Jeff Mayweather, this isn't about bad blood, it's about business. The rivalry may look fierce on the surface, but underneath, both men know the payday is too big to ruin. The crowd might expect chaos, but what they'll really get is a show designed to sell. That doesn't mean it will lack drama. It just means the punches may carry more theater than hate. In Jeff's eyes, that's the real truth. It's less about destruction and more about dollars.
You fought both Canelo and Mayweather. You fought them both. Who did you think was better, Canelo or Mayweather? I know that's Canelo was saying it was Crawford better than Mayweather.
I was very impressed with Canelo at 21, but Mayweather was still technically more sound. I think Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, it's, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
But Sean Porter isn't buying any of it. He opened with pure honesty, reminding fans that this matchup comes from a long, uneasy history. For him, the very idea feels more like a street fight than a sanctioned bout. The tension between Tyson and Floyd isn't just made for TV, it's real and it stretches back years. Porter highlighted how grudges this Raw rarely belong under the bright lights, yet here we are. That's why he sees it less as sport and more as something unpredictable, something that shouldn't make sense but somehow does. In his eyes, this isn't just boxing, it's madness given a date and a venue.
Because Canelo after the fight said that Crawford is way better than Floyd. You know Crawford, you know Canelo, you know Floyd. What do you think? Who would win in a fight?
My man. I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time.
Then Porter admitted his own struggle, saying it's almost impossible to imagine how this fight would even look. He pointed to strange past exhibitions as a warning sign. For him, this is the hardest part, trying to picture Floyd and Tyson sharing the same ring without it slipping into theatrics. He recalled the spectacle with Big Show, reminding everyone that stage drama works in wrestling but not in boxing. A circus act won't hold up here, and Porter knows the fans won't forgive it. To him, it feels like a fight better left in fantasy than in reality.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sure was, and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying.
But
want to make himself look like he did something great.
Porter didn't hesitate to double down, saying flat out that the matchup defies all logic. In his mind, it's a puzzle with no solution. He couldn't find a way to make it believable. No angle, no reasoning, no explanation that fit. For Porter, the whole idea collapses under its own weight. And when a fighter like Sean Porter admits he can't even analyze it, you know something feels off. To him, this is less a fight and more a headline with no foundation.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes.
Then Porter dug into Tyson's preparation, pointing out something most had overlooked. He saw through the frustration, the sluggish movements, the missing sharpness, all signs of a fighter who hadn't put in the necessary rounds of sparring. Against Jake Paul it showed, and he believes it would show even more against Mayweather. Timing, speed, rhythm, those are the tools needed against a slick master like Floyd. Without serious sparring, Tyson would walk in unarmed, chasing shadows. Porter's words painted a harsh reality. Tyson's preparation could decide the fight before the first punch is even thrown. And then came the bluntest moment, Porter's take on Tyson's current state. It was sharp, emotional, and cut deeper than any technical breakdown. He spoke with respect, but his words carried a sting. The Tyson of today isn't the Tyson of old. The fire remains, but the sharpness has faded, leaving more flash than substance. It wasn't mockery, it was heartbreak, spoken by someone who admires the man but can't ignore the truth. Porter's honesty hit hard because it captured what fans fear most, that stepping into the ring now might not add to Tyson's legend, it might strip it away. Porter then turned the spotlight on Floyd, asking the only question that matters: what could Mayweather really do against Tyson? His answer made the matchup sound like a game of cat and mouse. For Floyd, the plan would be the same as always: hit, move, frustrate, escape. Porter made it clear Mayweather's craft isn't gone. He's spent a lifetime perfecting it. But the danger lies in the moment Tyson closes the distance. When raw size and strength threaten to overwhelm strategy, that clash of styles, the untouchable technician versus the relentless brawler, remains the heart of the drama. And Porter left fans with the question that lingers: if Tyson gets his hands on Floyd, what happens next? And then, the legend himself, Mike Tyson, cut through all the noise. He spoke with a mix of disbelief and a dark warning, turning the spotlight back on Floyd. This fight is something neither the world nor I ever thought would or could happen, he stated. I still can't believe Floyd wants to really do this. It will be detrimental to his health. Tyson didn't sound like a promoter. He sounded like a man issuing a threat and a prophecy at the same time. His disbelief showed how surreal this matchup feels, even to him. But behind the shock was a darker edge, a reminder of the danger that still lives in his fists. At the end of it all, this fight feels less like a matchup and more like a storm waiting to explode. On one side, you have Mayweather, the undefeated technician, still living in the gym, still sharper than men half his age. On the other, you have Tyson, the legend, the destroyer, a man who believes one punch can still change everything. The words from Rogan, Nelson, Porter, and Tyson himself show just how split the boxing world is. Some say it's money, some say it's pride, and some believe it's pure danger. One thing is certain: if it happens, the whole world will be watching.